I'm trying to rely on experts, but the problem was like a lot of the experts that are being brought on TV, or a lot of the TV commentators, were saying things in absolutes that ended up just not panning out. John Mearsheimer is an example of this. For example, John Mearsheimer said before the war that if number one, the Russians would never invade because it's against their interests, it would hurt them in XYZ ways, and so they would never do it. They would never do this like full-scale invasion. Okay, well then it happened. So that's one absolute that failed. But if they did, so this is the second thing, the second prediction he's making, it would be over in like a week or two, and then that didn't come to pass. And there's others who have made predictions like this. Of course, there was a lot of predictions of, oh, Ukraine's on the brink of collapse, X, Y, Z. And they were saying that for weeks. And as the war was going on, and I was watching the Battle of Kiev like progress, and I was seeing how much fighting there was over Bucha, how much fighting there was on the outskirts of Kiev, and how much resistance the Russians were having. I was thinking, like, how is it going to be possible that if they're having this much trouble going through these suburbs, they're going to be able to take a city of 3.5 million people with the forces they have now? And like, if they're just like shoving all these troops down this one line, down this road to Kiev, like, how is that an effective? They can be bottlenecked. They're being targeted by Bayraktar drones. And if they had their air defense systems up, they could have intercepted. The tire rot that Russian soldiers were facing was hurting them as improperly maintained trucks were having problems transporting goods. They're running out of fuel, they're running out of resources. Troops started looting, which of course, on one hand, like from the civilian perspective, looting is horrible because of the effect it has on civilians, and that's the main frame we talk about it. But for a military commander, looting's bad too, because if you're looting, that means you're distracted. You're dropping strategic objectives. You're dropping defending your point or trying to go to attack the enemy in order to loot and take property and then go transport it and move it away. And that's hours or, possibly a whole day of time that is then wasted. And that is a problem with military discipline. And so all these factors that were not being originally analyzed or people did not have access to ended up making a lot of experts, quote unquote, with a lot of egg in their face. And this happened time and time again. I mean, who could have predicted that the Wagner Group would turn their guns on their masters, march on Moscow, take Rosvandan, and shoot down airplanes? People forget. Could you imagine an American defense company, an American military contractor marching on Washington, D.C., shooting down jets as the president negotiates with them and tries to offer them a deal? Like, it's wild. It's wild. But these are all factors that no one could have even begun to analyze. These are all factors that people couldn't have begun to, list out and say, this is the pathway that's going to happen. Here's the absolute, is going to this, then this, then this. It's why when I see people say, like, Ukraine will lose the war, or Ukraine will win the war, or Russia will lose or will win, I immediately disregard them because I feel that there are so many different factors, so many dice rolling at the same time that you just can't concentrate on them all at the same time, even with the best of best of the available AI algorithms. And so it leads to me seeing these people talk in absolutes and holding them in very low standing.